Hello! Today we're just going to be doing a good old face-off. I've been playing around with my new nat, J-nat even. And I've got another few razors of what I think are ready on it, so it'll be interesting again to see. Today I've got this lovely little J.A. Hellberg that I believe is NOS, or at least it was until I had it. You know, I don't believe it's ever been used. Well, it was lovely to hone and everything. It's a nice little razor. It's got a couple of little marker pen marks on the back there. I forgot to get off. J.A. Hellberg, and it said this. It says the Skides mark. Totally wrong, but I believe that says protected lands, or at least something like that. I need to double check again, but I believe it's the same as the other one that I've had before, basically. And the other razor is new to me. I didn't even know this was a brand. I think they're part of like the crop sort of enterprise, and it's an Ogee 51. Don't know if that's coming out. And again, this was new stock. Like, it's got a few marks on it from how old it is. This is an Ogee 51, French style improved, made in Sheffield on the back, and it is, I'd say, a quarter hollow. It's quite a substantial in your hand kind of razor. It's very stiff on the stones. It seems like it's got lovely steel, I must say. Yeah, it seems lovely steel. It's got a nice finish to it as well, actually. It's a nice little, it's the one that drawed me to it anyway out of the box. That's why I got it ready, and that's why I'm showing you it today. So this razor though, I got from the barber's lot, the travelling barber's lot. This is one of the razors that was in his lot, and then there was kind of probably about 3 NOS razors with some various other razors that weren't NOS, but they was all looked after. You could clearly tell you knew how to sharpen razors. One of them, in fact, no, it weren't this one. No, it was the other one, yeah. So one of them had been absolutely stropped that much, right, that you couldn't see the beginning of the bevel, the apex of the bevel. You couldn't see it. Well, you could see the apex, sorry. But what I mean is, it had been completely rounded off. So it was basically a true convex blade, and it was still sharp. I didn't shave it or anything. It was still plucking hairs. But it was interesting to see it, and I'm always interested that, like, because I've never stropped anything to that extent that it creates a pure convex. Like, there was no beginning of the bevel, if you know what I mean. There was no line. And today I'm going to use a different soap, just a Palmolive classic palm extract. It says, yeah, like a little shaving stick, just in case anybody who watches my videos has never shaved with a shaving stick. I guess you could turn it into a bit of a like how-do. Right, so without further ado, let's get a bit wet. Hang on, let's do it a bit better than that, excuse me. I've just had a shower. I've just stropped everything off camera like I normally do to save everybody's time. Right, so with these sticks, you just get a bit vigorous on your face, basically. 2 days growth going on. And you just, I must say, I'm not too much of a fan of these, but they're ideal if you do a bit of travelling or something, or, well, you know, you just prefer to shave this way. It doesn't matter to me. But I prefer my old pucks, even though this is a puck, really. It's the same kind of like what you'd call formula. It's just direct on the face. I can remember the first time I did this, I was a bit like, well, it ain't doing nothing. It's just doing this, you know. And I was thinking, well, how the hell does it get going and whatnot? And then I was like, oh, right. As soon as you get the old brush on it, you got to experiment a little bit, like how long to do it. Like, it's not somebody I can shave a lot with, so it might even take a couple of goes, but we'll see. And get the old brush, get jiggy with it. There we go, starting to come a bit. Bit of water, I think, a little bit. That's it, it's coming a bit now. Different experience. must say, I always like using the brush on my face, and I'm sure I've said it in my other videos, but years ago, like when I first started kind of what I'd call proper traditional wet shaving, got rid of all the horrible foams and got a brush and whatnot, my lady, now my wife, turned around, I think first, second, third day of shaving something like this, and she said my skin just looked loads better. And I think it's because you do this with the old brush, because you know, it's exfoliating, isn't it? Right, so that's made quite a thick lava there. Again, it's saying I'm not too clued up on these sticks. We've got about 3 or 4, and I've got a Boots one. This Palmolive. This Palmolive smells the best. Well, we'll go for that. It's not the best lava up, but we'll see. It's not all about the look, remember. I know some people love the old, like, sort of, I don't know, ice cream effect, I'd call it. Mr. Whippies. Mr. Whippies. I don't really care for looks. I care for action. So let's try this little Hellberg. These are just beautiful razors. They really are. I had a is it Solderen or Solderon? Another Swiss make, and do you know what? It's one of them razors where I have nightmare. I wake up some nights thinking, God, you shouldn't have sold that one. It was a bit rough as well, so it was a good candidate for me to keep. I've got to watch my old cut here. There we go. I think I'll just. Oh. I nearly have my tash off then. Oh, I don't want to do that. Right. So just concentrating around my cut. Last thing you want to do is shove a razor blade in an old cut. Gee whiz. As I thought, as I was honing these, well, this one especially, it's going to be a good shave. I had one of these a few weeks ago that was a bit of a bugger to get an edge on, and when I test shaved it, it weren't too great. And that was a bit of an eye opener, that was. Another J-net edge, lovely, lovely and comfortable. It basically don't feel nothing. Yeah, it's close enough for most, I'd say. Lovely. Yeah, it's a good one. If only you could find one that was kind of a bit supersized, a bit bigger shank and everything, I'd definitely keep it, but because they don't fit my hands too well, or at least my hands don't fit them, so it kind of puts me off keeping them really, other than they're just beautiful. So this is the Ogee. Yeah, the dude who, that is just lovely. See, I can barely feel that. That is, it's just like I'm sliding a piece of metal over my skin and it ain't doing nothing. But lo and behold, it is doing something, because it took all my hairs off. Lovely. So that's another one. I tell you what, I've lucked right into this J-net. It is marvellously easy to hone on it. It's lovely to use. It's got this nice creamy kind of sort of slurry texture to it. It's lovely. It's my favourite stone so far. I really like my shiny wood, but I've not got to grips with that yet. I've got to spend more time with it and whatnot. Oh, hang on, what am I doing here? Oh, see, another thing you can do is you can kind of, let's just imagine, you can kind of have a pot of water and dip it in, like for the second round, if you don't want to directly put it in your kind of water with hair and that, which is something I don't really like doing, to be honest. Alright, go round 2. I think I've got to get a bit more vigorous with it. Hope you all had a good day. I've had a pretty good day. Well, I've been hanging doors. And if you've ever hanged doors, it's never a good bloody job, to be frank. Especially today's doors, because they're so pony. It's like, it's not fun even doing it. Just got like hollow wafer stuff in it, and if you have to chop them down more than the allowance of wood, which is just epoxy sort of 15mm, let's say, you got to chop it out, push the honeycomb in a bit. Oh, I don't know whether I even needed to put more on. It's all on the brush. Look at that. Oh, there you go. I don't know. And then you basically just take your bit of wood out from the bit you cut off, take the skin of the door off, the bit you see, and glue it back in. It's a complete pony. Right. This is the J.A. Hellberg again. She's a corker. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. That's nearly new razor, that is. So whoever gets it, it's definitely going to get a good bar. Well, not. Right, where's that cut? There she is. Slidey stuff, I'll tell you. Slidey, that is. I was just struggling to pull my skin on my chin. Slidey, super slidey, which is what you want, I guess. Yeah, it's got good slide. I think it's got quite a good fan base, the old Palmolives. I see them on, you know, for sale and whatnot on the various sort of for sale sites, and they're always fetching good money and always seem to sell. Right, let's do the old Ogee. Yeah, so what I was saying, yeah, he had what are they called? Oh, a trimmer, like hair trimmer. And it was Ogee with all the bits, and it definitely looked quite a bit sort of high quality bit of kit. Yeah, it was a good old cut that was, my old Wade and Butcher. Just marked me. Considering that's basically a wedge, that's a nice shave, that is. That's another one where I was sort of honing it through my progression, which on these was a 2000, 5000, and then the J-Nat. I could tell it was going to be a good shave, good steel, good edge. It's got a lovely bevel on it. It won't sharp, I don't think, but it's got lovely, lovely tight, even bevel. Well, damn near evil anyway. Tiny bit thicker there, wider. Yeah, lovely. So I've got to get one of them, is it called Tomo Naguros. Oh, sorry if any Japanese people do watch this or end up watching it. I mean, no offence. Pronunciation is not my game. Yeah, like basically a slurry stone. I want to get a natural one. I could get a cheap one, you know, synthetic, but it just feels a bit cheating really when you're using lovely like natural stones. Because I used like diamond plates and stuff with my other natural stones, but some of them are super hard, so you never really need to worry about using them. Whereas this Japanese natural stone, I wouldn't say it's soft, but it seems to create quite a lot of slurry quite quick. So I'm a bit sort of like, am I wasting my stone? Do you know what I mean? Because if it turns out, you know, I'll get another J-Nat and, you know, it ain't no good as a razor finisher anyway, which some are just not. Yeah, it's got a nice scent to it, mild. Yeah, and then you'd be just totally gutted, wouldn't you, if you just had that one stone and kept on wearing it down. And you never know with a natural stone, you see, you could get a layer that was just crap for the razors basically, and then you've got to either, you know, sell it on as a knife one maybe, or grind past it with your plates. So then, you know, obviously you're losing depth to your stone. So I kind of, in my head, I like using just diamond plate. I like using the stone that come from the stone, like as a slurry and everything. Like, don't work on all stones, naturals, but with this J-Nat, do you know what I mean? Because at the moment it's producing just solid edges. That's edges. So that's one, two. That's five razors already, and the first three, that was just like first go using it. So it's definitely a good stone anyway, because you're getting an edge on it like that. I'd like to try and polish the edge a little bit more, but I'm not one to keep doing loads and loads of laps, because I've read that the more laps you do, you're basically putting more chance of you like taking your edge down. Like, and that's okay to do that, but you're meant to do that on like your strop kind of thing, not on your stones. I've heard that you can kind of grind away before the very apex of your bevel a bit if you keep polishing too much. Less is more, like, you know, you want to get it to the point of sharp and then leave it, like, you know, and then that's it, isn't it? Otherwise you're just either wasting muscle, meaning you, or you're wasting your metal. Because once it's got to that nice sharp point, that's it, isn't it? Alright, move on, shave with it. Right, who won? Ogee or Hellberg? I'll tell you what, that Ogee has really impressed me. You know, because it's basically a wedge. And that has gave me a really close shave. I knew it as well when it had it on the stones. That's a proper 1950s guaranteed razor, that is. I've even got like one of his tax receipts. Had some stuff bought from Torquay, various other receipts. Yeah, it was interesting. And it like got me thinking, man, like being a travelling barber in the 50s must have been a grand old job, because he was definitely like sharpening people's straight razors. Because he had 3 conicals. I'm not saying he was travelling around with all 3. And then he had a stone that I reckon he was setting the bevel on, which I think is one of those wash heaters. I might be getting that wrong. It's not a stone that I'm familiar with at all. But I think that's that stone. I've got to try and get that verified somehow. And then all of his scissors were definitely sharpened either on the wasibo or the coticals and stuff. And yeah, like I said, you know, he was probably going around and like, because I think he was selling straight razors as well, because he had like 4 or 5 straight razors the same make. You know, and even if he was, you know, straight razor in somebody's face 3-4 times a day, you don't need that many straight razors yourself, do you know what I mean? They still last. Yeah, so I reckon he was selling them off, getting them ready for people. And it's, yeah, it's quite mad, isn't it? Like, we live in a world which is just so devoid of that kind of work, sort of, well, that work basically, travelling around servicing people. Oh, sorry about my hands as well today. If you've caught if you think they're dirty, they're not. This is glue from gluing the wood back on the doors, and I'll be there for days, man. I should wear gloves when I do it, but I never do. I am clean. I'm just grotty. Right, guess who won? No one. Draw. Do you know what? No, it ain't. It's not. The Ogees beat the Hellberg, man. Sheffield beat the Swedes today. Eccles tuna. Yeah, it's definitely a bit closer. Still both left a little bit there, but even my bestest razors genuinely leave a bit there. Alright. I have to trim the old tash, I think, this week. Give it a good trim. It's going a bit wild. Alright, I love you and leave you. Hope you've had a good day, like I said. Hope you've learnt a little tiny bit about the old shaving sticks. These are the cheaper like versions of getting involved. Like, you know, if you were just starting out, all you need to do is get one of these, get a brush. That's it. You know, you don't need a fancy brush. Like, I think somebody said online that this was a bit fancy. Well, I think I got it for 15 quid. Just lucked into it. Somebody didn't list it right in a manner of sort of telling everybody what it was. So you can always find cheapo things out there that are not cheap. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. Right. I'll see you later. Toodaloo.